Maurizio Sarri has his work cut out after Man City dispatch uninspired Chelsea to provide rude awakening to English football. There's no smoke without fire, but Maurizio Sarri discovered the reverse was not necessarily true on his baptism in English football. Chainsmoker Sarri was greeted by flamethrowers as Chelsea unveiled the sequel to Antonio Conte's Italian Job. And Sarri's first sip from the poisoned chalice was pure cyanide. On the pitch, there was nowhere for his outclassed team to hide, and at smoke-free Wembley, there was nowhere for Sarri to light up a cigarette and let off steam behind the scenes. The former Napoli coach took charge last month with a mission statement to restore the fun at Chelsea after Conte's reign ended in recrimination and sourness. On this evidence, however, Sarri's Ministry of Fun will have all the enjoyment of a wet weekend in Bognor Regis. Yes, Eden Hazard will add a sprinkle of stardust when he returns, assuming Sarri can keep him out of Real Madrid's clutches. And, yes, World Cup winner N'Golo Kante will offer more resistance than Sandxels against the tide. But Sarri's first hand was a dud. Chelsea were ponderous, static and uninspired. Too often their first instinct was to move the ball sideways, or backwards, or to give it away. First impressions can be misleading. Conte's reign was heading for the rocks until he abandoned a flat back four when trailing 3-0 at Arsenal, and his switch to 3-4-3 proved a stroke of genius. How Sarri fixes this carbuncle of a performance is less obvious than a fundamental change of shape, though. As Manchester City flexed their muscles, strutted their stuff and made an early statement of intent ahead of the 2018-19 campaign, the former banker probably realized it was more fun sending in the receivers to wind up an insolvent company. By the time Sarri climbed the 104 steps to the royal box to collect his runners-up medal, only a few hundred of Chelsea's sellout allocation had stayed in their seats. Most of them had long since headed for the ordeal of hopscotch along Wembley Way, dodging the steaming pancakes of equine origin on the retreat towards the tube station. Instead of owner Roman Abramovich's preferred solution, throwing another couple of $100 million at the transfer market until the money talks loud enough, Chelsea's best answer may lie in their untapped treasure chest of homegrown talent. Their best player here was 17-year-old winger Callum Hudson-Odoi, whose energy and direct running gave Kyle Walker an uncomfortable re-entry from England's dizzy World Cup orbit for 45 minutes. Hudson-Odoi sent one curling, dipping shot just wide of the angle and forced Claudio Bravo to fumble another low effort like the proverbial bar of soap in the shower. His direct running and purpose were in stark contrast to £58 million record signing Alvaro Morata's barren trawl and Pedro's tiresome shuttles up blind alleys. In short, Chelsea were so poor it was enough to make their manager give up smoking. But just 3 weeks after the World Cup final, at least the first chorus of Blue Moon has whetted the appetite for a new season on the domestic front. City still have to reintegrate Kevin De Bruyne, Raheem Sterling, David Silva and Anderson from at a time in a long, hot summer, but they were far too slick for Chelsea. Between them, these teams have made 18 trips to Wembley between them since 2012, including Premier League dates with Tottenham, but only Chelsea seem to be suffering from medal fatigue. Don't mention the chore. There have been times, during Premier League chief Richard Scudamore's dismally corporate reign, when the Community Shield has been a joyless function fulfilled only for the sake of tradition. And if Scudamore wants to be remembered as a missionary who exported English football to global hinterlands, perhaps there is a case for sending the pre-season curtain raiser to a far-flung continent. Sadly, if Chelsea's first hand under smokeless Sarri is the yardstick, they might prefer us to keep the Community Shield on English soil a while longer.